I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. It only took 10 minutes. 10 minutes into this movie, and I was this close. That close to cutting this shit off. Because once Kevin Hart delivered the line talking about some okay team, lift. And his team proceeded to start the heist. I don't know what writer or the writers were thinking when they made that line. I don't know if they was watching the Gunna Young Thug video Hot and they thought they was Gunna with the pin on fire, or whatever was going through their minds when they wrote that line. But I promise you, whatever fish grease you thought you was cooking with, it was cold. It was cold and clammy and gross. That wasn't it at all. And the rest of the movie that follows suit afterwards, it ain't really it either. I thought Red Notice was bad. Let's lift off, I guess. Hey guys, it's your guy in the chair here, and look, this is my review for the Netflix movie Lift, starring Kevin Hart, Sam Worthington, Billy Magnussen, and Vincent D'Onofrio, and it was directed by F. Gary Gray. And our story, as simply as I want to put it, follows Kevin Hart as a high-class, world-renowned art thief. Okay, whatever. And basically what happens is, after a very successful heist, he gets recruited by the government. He gets recruited by the government and his ex-girlfriend, who's an Interpol agent, to now rob another or do another heist dealing with a guy who is hell-bent on destroying the world by transferring some gold in the air. He's going to use his gold to basically pay for chaos to reign around the world, and they have to intercept the plane and get the gold and make sure that the world doesn't end up in the wrong hands. What? I don't know. This plot is all over the place, but as simply as I can put it, yes, Kevin Hart is a high-class art thief. He gets recruited by the government / Interpol / his ex-girlfriend to stop an evil guy from getting his gold and be able to use that gold to rule the world. That's as simply as I'm going to put it, because as plainly as I can put it, this movie is background noise. We just gonna get straight into it. This movie is strictly background noise. Nothing more, nothing less. I promise you, if you were to be doing any sort of activity, any sort of whatever during while this movie is on, you can literally follow it. It doesn't even matter. You don't really have to pay much attention to what's going on, because it doesn't do anything special. Not only does it do anything special, it just doesn't go anywhere. And what I mean by that is just like you never get invested into the plot whatsoever. First of all, I know Kevin Hart has played serious roles before, but for whatever reason, I truly could not get into him playing this art thief. Like, if he was one of like the sidekicks, or like one of the sidekicks on this team, I could buy that. But he's the leader. Ain't no way. And it's not even because he's short, not because he's black. It's just because he's Kevin Hart. Which I mean, Kevin Hart is short and black, but I mean, I don't know. I just couldn't. I just could never fully buy into the fact that this dude is the leader of this specially talented, skilled team of thieves. Like, it just didn't seem. That just never registered to me whatsoever. Like, it was just watching Kevin try to play like a much cooler version of himself, and he just kept looking like an ass. But I mean, this movie is not entirely his fault. F. Gary Gray was all over the place with this thing. I mean, the plot is just truly messy. This is one of those movies where truly, I think it's best that you really don't pay much attention to what's going on, because it's one of those movies to where, like, if you really like watch, the more information that's being fed to you, the more you get not invested, but the more you get into this movie, like the deeper it goes, the more like stuff you can literally just nitpick on and be like, why is this way? This sucks. This is that. Like, the more you pay attention to, the worse the movie gets. I lied to you not. This is this movie literally just has to be background noise, because there's so much stuff in this movie that, one, either didn't make sense, two, was a easily seen cliche from miles and miles away. Easily seen cliche. The performances are all phoned in. Like I said, Kevin's trying to play a cooler version of himself. Sam Worthington's resume, aside from Avatar, is still getting worse. I love Billy Magnuson. I love Billy Magnuson, so I'm not gonna shit too much on him. Juju, I always get her name wrong. Juju Mabeth Raw from Loki and from Beyond the Lights, phenomenal movie. Her and Kevin Hart didn't have no chemistry in this movie. It was like this is a good example of no chemistry. These two, it was just like, it's like I said, I'm watching Kevin trying to play a cooler version of himself. I'm just like, nah, this ain't it, dog. He would have been a lot better as one of the sidekicks. He was not supposed to be the leader of this group. And it's crazy because they even have Vincent D'Onofrio in this movie, and he takes a backseat to the entire crew, which is a true crime to that man's talent. He should have been the leader of this group. I would have bought that. I would have bought if he was the leader of the group and Kevin kind of just gives out the orders that come from him. I would have bought that, but no. Kevin is the leader, and I just never bought into it. Never bought into the fact that Kevin's the leader. I truly got frustrated with this plot because it's just like the more they just tried to go on with this movie, man. Like, the action scenes are bland. Honestly, there's not really much action in this movie, and it's crazy because I'm thinking to myself, like, midway through the movie, I'm like, honestly, if this movie did have more action, I don't even think I could buy that, because it's like Kevin Hart's he's not an action star. You're not kicking ass. Like, dramatic roles are much different than you in ass kicking roles. That's why Red Notice is still somewhat entertaining, because you still have action stars in the film. You have Dwayne Rock Johnson, Ryan Reynolds, and Gal Gadot. This movie, you literally just assembled the most random crew in the world, told them to pull off one of the biggest heists in the world, and I promise you, it never feels like that. It never feels like this is one of the biggest heists in the world. Even the heist they're pulling off in the beginning of the film feels like they could have easily been caught if they would have just been in another movie's universe. It's just this movie is written poorly, it's directed poorly, the performances are phoned in. And why am I going so hard on a Netflix movie? Because normally, my thing with Netflix movies I like to honestly dial back my expectations because it's being put on Netflix. But sometimes Netflix can surprise you with movies like Someone Great. They just put Maestro on there. There's a lot of gems on Netflix that they have. May December is a Netflix gem. Like, there's gems on Netflix for sure. But then they just do movies like this that just make you think, like, yo, like, what was the point of that? And and honestly, it's like you can't even really complain because it's like this movie should have just went to streaming. It did. So we all have, anybody who's doing a review of this movie or anybody who saw this movie, we all had a choice. We didn't have to press play. But I'm sure those that did feel just like me and they regret it. I regret pressing play. And like I said, I was this close to cutting this damn movie off, but I'm not the one to necessarily start a movie and not finish it. I've never done that in my life. I've never walked out of a theater, so I just had to push through, and it was really hard. And overall, guys, if you have the option, which we all do, if you have not seen Lift, don't rush, skip it. Do anything else with your time, because this is a waste of your time. I promise you that. And if you have seen Lift, I'm very sorry. This movie just really kind of disappointed me, man. It was just really stupid. Like, it was really, really bad. But look, for all those reasons and so many more, guys, I'm going to give Lift a 1.5 out of 5 stars. All right, so Lift, like I said, if you have not seen it, do yourself a favor and never press play. But if you have seen it, please let me know in the comments below what you thought of the movie. If you thought it was fun and exciting, amazing. I'm happy for you. I'm glad. I'm always glad when I don't enjoy a movie, but someone out there did, because there's movies like that for everyone, where a lot of people don't enjoy it, but there are those select few that do. And to each their own. But I promise you, this movie fucking sucks. But regardless, let me know in the comments below what you guys thought of the movie. Thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. Look, guys, be sure to like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff and so much more. Thank you so much for watching. Look, this is your guy in the chair. More content coming to you soon.